Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Blue Stable Podcast. I am Michael Pivia, as always, joined by me, Landon Oliver. And we've let you guys know the past couple of days that we got some special guests coming up. And I know a lot of people are wanting to get our opinions on the new head coach, Shane Steichen. We will have a lot of coverage for that here coming soon in the next few days. But we also have some really special guests to talk to. And joining us today, it's obviously a big one for me, if everybody knows my favorite college team. Landon is obviously a big fan of this guy. Kendre Miller, TCU running back, headed to the NFL draft. Kendre, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Landon, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Excited to have Kendre on here. Great player. Had a fantastic season this year going in. I know some buddies of mine are really excited. There's some fantasy football guys, so they've got a huge eye on you from talking to them. So they're really excited. And yeah, man, it's we're fully getting entrenched in the draft season, and it's exciting to sit down with some of these prospects.
Absolutely. And just starting off, Kendre, just want to start off, man. How has draft preparation been for you thus far?
Oh, it's been a different experience. Enjoying myself, just being around other players and just grinding with different people from different schools every day, and just doing a lot of interview prep for the combine upcoming.
Yeah, and so going back to the beginning of the season too, I did have a question about this. So you had a new running back coach this year coming in, Anthony Jones. What were some of the things, because he's worked with a lot of really impressive guys. What were some of the things that he brought in this season that were new to you, and kind of how did they help you grow your game this past year?
Just his ability to help me and the other running backs just break things down easier and to pick things up in our brain faster so we could play faster, not really think about what we have to do. Just his way of teaching was just, overall remarkable. And I feel like him as a person, his personality, because he's cool and he's kind of like a funny type of dude, but when we on the field, he's serious and all about working. And so I feel like that was a big impact. And just the different things, he compared us to the Memphis running backs a lot and told us that we got some big shoes to fill. And I feel like overall the running back room this year, we made a big impact on our team.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Especially I know it's probably a little tough, but there's went into really your production this year, and especially your previous running back that was in there, decides to transfer out, and you're kind of stepping into that lead role now, where it's like, hey, I got to carry this team. How was that kind of in your mindset to start the season?
It was just different because having Zach start my sophomore year, pretty much the whole year, and when he got hurt against Texas Tech, and how I just stepped in and kind of closed the game out. Then I had the ability to, take over a game. I felt like to me that was me indicating to myself that I got the ability and I can do it. And I'm very much a starter. And so just after that, in the games I started in and just how I impacted them before I got hurt myself. So going into, off season and the summer and spring ball and all that, I knew I had big shoes to fill, and a lot of people were questioning who's going to step up for TCU in the run game. And, I never paid attention to it because just Coach Kaz and his staff, how much they changed my body and were able to just change me so much. I knew I had the ability going into the season, and a whole lot of people didn't see it coming, but I personally knew what I was able to do. My big thing was just staying healthy, and just them overall, they were able to keep the whole team healthy, and that's why we had so much success.
Definitely. I know Mike's got some stuff here for you.
And that was pretty big, honestly, because obviously I follow TCU closely. That was a big thing. Zach Evans going out was a big thing. A lot of people are just like, oh, man, who's going to step up? I was really excited for you, Kendre, because even in the spot minutes that you did get, especially last year when Zach had an injury, you stepped up and you showed a skill that we haven't seen at TCU in a while. even including this year, you were chasing LaDainian Tomlinson for his touchdown streak. 17, I believe you had 17 touchdowns this season alone in every single game. And that is something that at TCU has stood alone for a long time. And just really quickly asking you, how does it feel knowing that you are in that conversation with a Hall of Famer like LaDainian Tomlinson?
It's just an honor being able to, just kind of get mentioned with his name. And at first, I really wasn't thinking about it, but the more people were like, you scored a touchdown every game, you're right behind LaDainian. And I was like, oh man, like this is like actually true. And just to be mentioned, with him in the same conversation, it was just kind of like a dream to me. So I was just kind of like in the moment. So I wasn't letting it get to my head. And I feel like that's why I kept having success. And I've kind of always been like that. I'm not like a big like social media person where I like let a lot of things get to my head. I kind of just like overlook it and just keep like playing. So I feel like it most definitely was kind of cool after the season to look back like, oh yeah, I was like right there mentioned with him. But during the season, I wasn't really paying attention to it much.
I mean, you were there because of your talent, and you were also there because, well, I'm quoting you actually, best in the nation, right? Best in the nation. That's what you were this season.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. And that was pretty awesome to see. And a question about your game. It's no secret that you were one of the best, if not the best running back in the country in terms of yards after contact. What part of your game contributes most to that, and what specific area are you looking to get better at ahead of, the combine and pro days?
Okay, so I'll start with getting better at. The only thing that I've heard, people talk to me about in the combine is like my ability to catch the ball, which in our system we don't use the running backs as much, so that like is hurting me. That I wasn't able to really show that I could catch the ball well, but I will say when the ball was thrown to me, and I caught like pretty much all the balls that were thrown to me. So it's not like I didn't show the ability I could catch, but I don't have much film in that area. So I feel like that's the one thing that I really should improve in and just keep working at to really just show people that I'm very confident in my hands.
That's an underrated part of your game because, and you are right, it wasn't too much on film because, Sonny Dykes' system, it doesn't necessarily, favor the running backs in that situation, I guess. But the two plays that come to mind when it comes to your passing ability, and I think you probably know where I'm going with this. The first one was against Kansas State, and I believe it was a 3rd and 17, I believe, is just exactly. In fact, I watched that game yesterday. 3rd and 17, you catch the ball, you're making guys miss, you're spinning, and you get the first down, again, yards after contact. And then the second one against Texas, the ball was thrown very low, high pressure in front of Max Duggan. He got the ball off, and you catch it very low. And again, your relentless effort and competitive nature. A lot of guys in the country would have had like 3 yards. You ended up picking, I believe, like 12 yards off of that and got a first down. I've always been questioning that every time I watch you every Saturday. That competitive fire that you have, like, nah, I'm not gonna go down. I will not go down. I'm not sure if you can answer this, but where does that come from? How do you channel that?
It's really just like I feel like something I was born with. Just like the ability, like I surprise myself. I go back after the game and I see plays pop up, and I'm just like, how did I do that? It's just like something in like my body, like that I was gifted with. That's just like I won't be beat, and like I don't like to lose. So like the competitive nature in me, it's just like a fire that I gotta do whatever I can to help the team win. And so I'm gonna do everything I can. And so like when I got the ability to show that this season, it was just like I wouldn't be stopped. And so I feel like that's why I had so much success scoring on different occasions, just because I touchdowns win games and just like defense. And so like I'm gonna do my part on offense. So it was just me keeping the whole team up, motivating the O-line every week, and just keeping everybody healthy, and which big part of why we were successful.
For sure. And so, like, going forward now, we've seen a lot of rookie running backs come in and get drafted into the league and have success very early on. So, obviously there's a little bit of a learning curve, when it comes to like pass protection, your running lanes, route running, all that kind of stuff. What do you think are some parts of your game that translate early on to where you can step in your rookie year and see immediate success?
I feel like the pass blocking. I feel like I'm above average in the pass blocking field. A lot of backs I've seen, not really like well technique and pass blocking. I feel like I going to the NFL. There's things that I'm not the most perfect pass blocker, but I feel like I'm above average, so I could pick up things faster just using my bigger frame. And I feel like that's an area where I'm pretty comfortable in. And also just catching. That's another thing. Like I'm very confident in my hands because I know what I can do. Just like running wise, I'm confident. I'm confident in my hands, and so like I feel like in the NFL, I'll be able to show people like, oh, okay, so like he can catch and just step in and fill shoes.
Yeah, for sure, Mike.
This is another thing of your game, Kendre, because you shocked a lot of people. And every time when I turned on the TV, every time, whether it was at 11, 3, 7, whatever the case may be, your vision is some of the best in this class. I mean, this is a deep class of running backs this year in the draft. Your vision, your elusiveness, your cutting, but I got to ask you about your patented Miller move, all right? Miller time, the spin. My man, you're spinning like 3 times a play and you are making guys miss. You had to have perfected that in your timing of it. How did you perfect that?
I'll go back and say it's really like a football instinct that I just like have. It's just kind of like I just kind of do it. Like it's like, okay, what am I gonna do to make him miss? Because everybody wants to like kind of juke like this. The spin move, not many people expect it. And so like when you hit him with a spin move, it's just like wow, like he just spin. And just the spin move, I feel like my frame, like not many people think that like, oh, he's gonna spin. So it catches a lot of people by surprise. So I feel like that's why I'm so successful at the spin move. And then just working it in practice. Every week we would have practice. Every day I'm working on my spin move off a ball, like off of contact, and just like spinning off the ball and like going through a blaster. So I feel like just all the little things I did to perfect the spin move and how I do it, that's why I had so much success doing it.
So it seems too, man, like you're also too like a very physical runner. Like so, it's very hard for teams to like get you down and to stop you from busting through that hole. Is that something you actually like search out for, like whenever you're going into, whenever you're hitting a lane or something? Is that like, oh, this guy's here, boom, like I'm going at him? Or do you try to be a little bit more like elusive and not let their hands touch you?
Probably like a little bit of both. I feel like, I got to do what I got to do sometimes. So if there's somebody in the hole and the hole is, 2, I feel like I can't give them a little move, then, I don't have a problem going through them. Or if I feel like I can set them up and hit them with a move, then, I hit them with a move. So I really say it's a little bit of both. Just like different, I can remember like just different times where, I had to run through somebody like the Baylor game on the goal line, just like one of those moments where it's a decision, like there's no move making, like you just got to go through them. And I feel like I just got a little bit of both.
Yeah, you had a bunch of those moments this year where you put a lot of people on their ass, man.
For sure,
go back to the semifinal game. And this is where I want to focus on like you and your mindset and how you prepared. Obviously, there was a little trash talk before the game. They were talking about they're going to out physical you guys. But for you, as a football player, soon to be a professional, how do you channel some of that to not really focus on, you know what, not going to focus on the trash talk, just focus on my game? And do you find yourself at times, kind of battling that a little bit, kind of battling the temptation?
Most definitely. After so long and just getting talked down on, I feel like anybody would, want to say something back. But I'm one of those people who like you don't want to say the wrong thing and trash talk somebody, and then you end up losing like they did, and now you look bad. So I'm more of like the humble, like obviously, want to say something, and there's stuff in my head that I want to say, but it's all about awareness and like what you can say. So I kept a lot of it to myself, and I kind of, the team just, our coach was like, don't say anything. We're gonna let them do all the talking, and then Saturday we're gonna go out and show everybody like why we supposed to be here. And I feel like we most definitely did.
Yeah, yeah. Mike, yeah, are you muted?
My bad. I was gonna say you go.
Oh no, I mean like that answered everything that I had. So that answered all my questions. I know with you being, passionate TCU fan, I don't know, you probably got a little bit more for him here.
I definitely do because I'm not necessarily focusing on TCU because we're focused on your draft preparation, man. And I want to know
Right.
what goes inside the mind of you because you did, and it's well documented, ladies and gentlemen. Just before we continue on, I got a little list here for Kendre Miller. The team that's getting you a 2022 first team All Big 12 selection, 1,399 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns in your career, 2,420 total yards. And here's a big one: zero fumbles. Zero fumbles. Kendre, do you pride yourself in protecting the football?
Most definitely. And I'll say this year, our coach, every time we step anyone's like got put in the game, he was saying the ball, protect the ball, protect the ball. And just hearing it so many times, you think about it. And like right when I'm going on the field, we get in the car and he's like, protect the ball, watch the ball. So it's just in my head, and I'm like, I got to protect the ball because turnover loses games. And I most definitely don't want to be the cause of why we lose a game or even get put in the conversation of why we lost the game. So I did take pride in that, and I work ball security day in and day out. He most definitely put us through just protecting the ball because the running back room they leaned on us a lot in the running game to get that started. And I feel like I most definitely took pride in protecting the ball, and I worked on it extremely season.
Definitely. Another question that I had, let's go back to spring of last year. Obviously, the big one, Zach Evans left the program. Everybody crying, oh, who takes it over? New coaching staff, a lot of questions around the program. You're stepping into a big role. You got guys like Amari DiMercato behind you. You got some young guys and transfers coming in like Amani Bailey, Trent Battle coming in, who's a freshman. I know it may have settled on you at some point. Did you find yourself just alone inside your bubble saying, like, ever questioning your leadership to lead that running back room? Did you ever find yourself in that situation?
Early on, I was, I'm not a big vocal guy. So like having all the people before us who kind of just did it, I was kind of more of like a lead by example type of person. But stepping into the role this spring when he had left, and my coach making it very known that I was going to be the starter early, I feel like it just kind of grew over time, over the season. And I feel like it helped me a lot because just on the sideline, not when I went in, I was just, coaching them up on points that, they're asking me, like, what can I do better? And, just me giving them advice and what I've taken and what's helped me and just seeing them put it on the field and translate it. And I see them break a big run and, just us celebrating together. I feel like just all the little things we did, pushing each other in the off season every day during like sprints and workouts and different things, just kind of built my role of being a leader. And I feel like that's what helped me.
Yeah,
Man,
and
that's
so
awesome.
I was gonna say I do actually have another question though because we are a Colts podcast. We're gonna be looking for that quarterback of the future. You obviously played with a Heisman finalist at quarterback. What was it like playing with Max Duggan? Like, how was he as a leader in the locker room? And what do you think teams would be getting if they decide to draft him to be their franchise quarterback?
Max, he's not like he's kind of like me, not a super vocal guy, but like when he needs to say something, like he'll say something and like let the team know that they need to pick it up or something, just in big games, or just like kind of being there when we needed it the most, like somebody to say something. Max, he would step up and be that guy. And he kind of kept everybody in like just line, just his field of play. And just I really respect him a lot because of his leadership role and how he handled himself. And he's not cocky at all. He's not one of those type of dudes. So just the way he is himself all the time is why I respect him so much. Even after the Heisman, still came back to practice, still acting the same. He's been the same since I've got to TCU, acted the same the whole time. So I really respect him just off his personality, and I feel like that's why he's such a impactful leader.
Did you come into TCU naturally as a running back? Because I know there was a point in time where you got recruited maybe as a linebacker. Obviously, Gary Patterson has a reputation of changing guys' position who are naturally gifted. There was a chance you were a linebacker. There was a chance, and then you stay a running back. Getting inside your mindset a little bit, did you ever find yourself in a tough situation where where's my spot on this field? Where's my spot on this field? And how did you work your way through that?
Most definitely. It was just like a lot of when I was getting recruited, a lot of people wanted me for defense, just I guess because of my frame and how I was built and kind of just like a long wingspan type of person. So a lot of people felt like, I'm a defensive player. And I've always played offense. I played defense in high school, but I've always been like kind of an offensive person. And just to be like getting told that, I'm going to do what I got to do. But it would have been like something new. I feel like I could have picked up, but I feel like my natural instinct is just at running back because I've always had a feel for it. Like as a kid, I've just always had that instinct and like vision of just like where to go. It just kind of like it's just an instinct that I have. So I feel like running back is just my natural position. And when the running back coach they hired a new running back coach when I was in high school as a senior, and he was he told me, he was like, I want you to be a running back. And Coach P, he kind of like just let him do his job and trusted him. So it wasn't too much pushed on me to switch my position. I've always kind of been like the day one, like running back type person. So, but no, it most definitely went through my head, like, what am I really? Because as getting recruited, I heard safety, linebacker, DB. It was just like all type of different things. And I'm just like, what really am I? But I feel like, I'm a running back at heart.
I mean, you can't really blame him though, Kendre. You have some massive shoulders, man. I mean, I remember turning on some interviews like after spring practice and everything. I'm just watching and I'm just trying to like understand what the type of player and leader you are. And I'm just sitting there catching like, this man's shoulders are huge. It doesn't shock me that you put a lot of people on their ass this season. It doesn't. And I assume you're getting ready to do that in the NFL, right? You're ready to deliver some blows.
Oh, most definitely. I'm big on, coming in and setting who you are early. And I felt like as the season went on, every game I was making it known who I really am. And I feel like in the NFL from day one, I'm gonna have to make a name for myself.
Yeah. Favorite running back, real quick. I'm just kind of curious. Favorite running back that you like to watch and who you kind of model yourself after.
I've had people tell me just off of my contact balance that I resemble Alvin Kamara in that field. But to me, my favorite running back to watch, I like Derrick Henry, just like how powerful he is, and then how big he is, and like how fast he is to be like, he's like 6'3", like 250, and he breaks away from people. It's just amazing, like the things he does to me and like how hard he works. I'm also a big Joe Mixon fan and Saquon fan. Like those are like my kind of like top running backs to me who are just, impactful. And Saquon really showed this year, kind of like what he can do and how he can take over games. And that was pretty cool to me. And of course, Jonathan Taylor, I really say like it's just kind of weird to say because his name hasn't been brought up to me, but just thinking about it now, just his breakaway speed kind of reminds me of me. And I see like resemblance of like our game now since I'm like kind of sitting here thinking about it, just what he's shown in the NFL so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't come on a Colts show and not show love to our
Oh
boy
yeah,
JT.
most definitely. Most
For
definitely.
sure, bro.
Hey, that breakaway speed you mentioned, it's something that does kind of, when I think about it, damn, you're actually right, because I think about your breakaway SMU game, Oklahoma, obviously against Texas, and your ability to bounce to the outside. It's awesome to see. And speaking of Jonathan Taylor, of course, Colts could be in the market for a running back, right? I think they should, obviously. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, if you're shy or anything. But how dangerous? I would love to think how dangerous a duo of you and Jonathan Taylor can be in the NFL. But you personally, how dangerous can that be for the league?
I feel like what I can bring to the table is pretty scary, and just how every year I've shown that how much I've got better, and then the big jump I took this year with just the strength coach and the different staff that we got, and how well I fit in the scheme. So I feel like me and Jonathan, that would be pretty scary. Just how explosive we both are. Like we can take 3-3 and then we bust for like an 80-yard run out of nowhere. And I feel like that's just what makes me so scary and how we resemble so much.
Mm-hmm. And Landon, do you have any more questions?
Nah, man, that
No.
about covers everything. I mean, I love hearing the pass protection stuff because for me, like coming into the league, like that's always been the biggest learning curve for most young running backs. So the fact that like you talk up the pass pro and your ability to do that at a higher level than maybe most normal rookie running backs would, it's that's music to my ears. So I greatly appreciate the little idiosyncrasies and stuff like that, for sure. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on and answering these questions with us. It's been a great interview.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Appreciate y'all for having me.
I have one big question, but I have two more. Okay, I have two more. I feel obligated to ask these, but it feels awesome. You got to TCU and the program was kind of shaky, right? It was kind of shaky. Nobody knew what was going on or where the direction of the program was going. But how much pride do you feel in knowing you are leaving TCU as possibly the greatest team to ever exist in that program? You're leaving TCU in a much better place than you found it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It just thinking about like what we did this year, being probably one of the greatest teams that's been there. Uh, it really hasn't hit me yet. I'm just like this whole year really hasn't hit me yet. I'm just kind of like a in the moment type of person, and I feel like as I get older, I'm gonna look back and be like, we really did that, and we were really that good, and just all the people I was around that was on that team, they were all like very special, and I feel like everyone played a role on that team, and it was just like the perfect pieces to like the puzzle, and a lot of people got overlooked. But they were like very special and showed up in big ways and made plays. So I feel like just being one of the, greatest teams at TCU is just, a big honor. And I'm glad to be a big part of that team.
I have one more question for you, man. It's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big one, but on draft night, when your name is called, your phone inevitably rings, and you get told you're drafted. What kind of leader and man is that organization getting?
I feel like they're getting a very trustworthy respectable and hard worker. Like I feel like I'm a very hard worker. And what I bring to the table is just gonna be remarkable. And I'm a big winner. I love winning. And so, I feel like they're getting someone who hates to lose. So I'm gonna do everything I can possibly in my power to, stop that from happening. So every day I'm gonna come to work, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna make plays, because I'm just a playmaker. And so I feel like, the type of person they're getting, I'm a great teammate. So, there will never be like a off the field issue with me. So I feel like they're getting like, just a really mature playmaker, who's ready to come in and make an impact early in the league.
Awesome, guys. This has been a great interview with TCU running back Kendre Miller headed to the NFL draft. And before we get out of here, I do want to shout something out for him as well. He and fellow TCU teammate Quentin Johnston, who we will have on here tomorrow, they are hosting an incredible event. They are hosting a football camp. I believe it is in Mansfield, correct?
Yes.
Mansfield, Texas. This is awesome, man. This is awesome to see you guys give back to the community, give back to these kids. And what does that mean to you to host something like that? And do you look to possibly hosting more?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Just getting out there with the kids and just showing love to them is just, a big part of me and Quinn. We love being with the kids and just hosting different little things like this. And, it's really odd for the kids. We both love kids personally. I work with kids in high school, the little kids. So, just them looking up to us the way they do and how much love they show to us will just be, special to us. And we'll look back in a couple of years and do more, most definitely, probably every year. So, it'll just be good giving back to them, showing love to them, and just, making a name for ourselves and showing love.
I'll tell you what, man, when we start having kids here at the Blue Stable, you already know we bringing our kids to you guys, all right? We only bring them to the best. Other than that, guys, thank you so much, Kendre, for your time. I cannot express the gratitude enough, man. Do you have anything else to say before we get you out of here?
I just want to thank y'all for having me on the talk show, and appreciate y'all for y'all's love and time and how much love y'all showed to me and my teammates this year.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir, man. I was gonna say I appreciate it, and I know Mike's for sure been following you guys closely for a long time, and for me personally, I'm excited to watch your career. I'm excited to see how things unfold for you. And I think, with your work ethic and your skill set, there's some big things in your future. So good luck the next few months. Extremely happy for you, man. And, just go out there and do your thing.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Appreciate y'all.
All right, guys. Well, Colts fans, this is a guy you want in the organization. But other than that, Kendre, blessings to you and your family. We're praying for you. Best of luck on draft night, man. Obviously, best of luck at the combine and at the pro day as well, my man. Again, congratulations on an incredible career at TCU, an incredible year at TCU. I know myself as a fan, I just enjoyed seeing you guys take off into the players that all the fans knew that you could be. Guys like Gary Patterson knew you could be, and definitely shout out to those men as well. Other than that, guys, we will be back at it once again. We got more interviews coming up. Guys like Eric Gray, Quentin Johnston, wide receiver 1 coming on, and many, many more coming on. So, Kendre, again, thank you for the time, my man, and you have a blessed one, all right?
All right, y'all too.